Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of RAERAEs Review, where we, you know who we is, me and Aaron will be discussing Southern Charm Season 10, Episode 6. Please welcome Aaron. Hey Aaron.
Hey Unks and is it aunts and unks? Yes.
Aunties and unks.
Thank you. Aunties and unks. I knew I messed it up. Sorry.
And everybody else.
Forgive me and everyone else. Correct. Anyone tuning in, thank you for having me as usual.
All right, Southern Charm. Yeah, they getting up, folks is being real grown in this episode.
Do you feel like it's a little slow though? I'm a little annoyed. When you said episode 6, I was like, y'all are a little slow on this rollout, everybody. Just saying,
I mean, they'll never get crunk like Salt Lake City or anybody else, or Beverly Hills Housewives. They real, they gotta be demure. Even the men have to be demure.
Yeah, I just feel like they're a little slow handling here. But we'll see how they ramp up. That's my critique for them. Producers, you're kind of beating storylines a little bit. We have too many like separate conversations and not a lot of movement here.
Yeah. But I think episode 7 is gonna get a little crunk a little bit because Salley is starting ish with folks. She
yeah,
our
listen,
favorite new character.
Right? No, I will get there, but I will say, yeah, she definitely is unfurling a little bit. I think two things can be true, but I definitely think she's a little bit of I'm leaning a little, not necessarily more towards your side that Gaston's an angel, but I'm a little bit more like, what are you doing here, ma'am? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little hanging on here, a little too much. But anyway, the pH balance of all of it this episode has me reaching for a Sandy wipe. I need some bleach. I need some Clorox wipes.
Bleach.
I need a mask and some gloves.
Wipe the seat off every time.
Every time. I'm going to bring my own toilet seat to this house.
Like, ew, ain't nobody else. You mean in this whole nobody else but this innocent. You know what?
My God, today. Are there 25 people in Charleston? Is that it? Because like I feel like I feel like there's just such a small pool. The way they have overlapped each other, because even Sally's new man bun has been all around.
Michael
and that's
Bolton.
What I'm gonna call him. I hate a man bun. Oh God.
Michael Bolton the third.
My God, yes. If Michael Bolton went to a yoga retreat, get me out of here.
Oh, these folks, girl.
Ooh.
I tell you.
I'll take a toxic masculinity like Shep. Hell, I'll take Austin over that dude. But that's just me and my own issues. Anyway, not my type. Sensitive, let me kiss you, look you in the eyes, and ask you how you feel. Get out of here.
Yeah, he seemed to be in a business too. I mean, it's like, why
like
are you commenting?
Because apparently he should have been on the show a while ago with the dipping and doing that he's doing.
Apparently.
He's in the mix. That's why.
Girl, I don't know. I guess the thirst is real a little bit. Well, speaking of thirst, JT is furious, child. He is mad. He went and met up with Craig and got his carafe of drinks, and And he said, let me sit down and wait for this dude because I got something to say. He mad, and I don't blame him because it seemed like Craig may have, but Craig said 10 toes down, like, I heard you. But you the only one who heard it.
I think Craig.
What'd you hear?
Excuse me. I think Craig heard JT talking about Austin, honestly, because I do remember when he reacted, I can't believe you're saying this, I'm out of here, whatever. But for Craig to sit there and say, I thought to myself, I can't believe he called her a bitch. Like, it didn't happen, buddy. Like, the way you're remembering is like crazy to me. Because even Shep said the first time he heard Craig say it, I didn't hear JT say that. Shep said on Watch What Happens Live, I never heard JT say that. And so I just want to look at Craig and go, what in your ADHD out of brain mind is hanging on to something, a reaction you had, and gonna stand on this?
You know how people interpret what other people say?
Yeah.
Listen.
You're trying. The reach is real. We're both trying to help Craig, but really, at the end of the day, you and I both saw that scene. JT was flapping his gums. I think the craziest stuff he was saying about Madison, where he assumed that he might be in the mix. It's like, get out of here. Her husband was checking about Austin. Okay.
I'm sorry, but if Shep heard JT say that word, he would have said he wasn't talking about Miss Patricia. But the fact that word was not said.
Yeah.
It's like, Craig, did you just think that's what he meant? You know how people that's what he meant, but that may not be what he heard.
He says that's what he heard though, and he stood on it at Watch What Happens Live too. He said, I don't know why they can't find the footage. I know I heard it. And Shep said, I did not hear that. And you heard me say at Patricia's party, I didn't hear that. So you know what? Let's just be real. Craig is in a really weird position this season. He's going to have a rough season. I think we can tell, right? Mm-hmm. Like, they're unhappy with him. Him and Paige, unfortunately, we know where they're at. Paige is already outside having a good time. I think emotionally, this is my feeling, Paige left the relationship 6 months ago. I think Craig is going to have I think he'll be fine, but I just think this is going to be a rough ride for Craig.
Yeah, especially when Patricia's own son didn't even believe it. It's like, no, he couldn't have said anything like that.
No, and you know what? JT's a lot of things, honestly. JT's a bona fide character. But I do believe that he has a weird sense of integrity that he's like stays with. And so I would stand up for JT not saying it too.
And he's a gentleman.
Yeah.
Women have vouched, men have vouched. That's not what he does. That's not his lingo.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Not even in the heat of the moment is that his lingo. Yeah. So nah, Craig, come on, Craig, really?
Right, Craig, you're giving us old flavors of Craig. You're trying to talk about new Craig, but you're tasting like the dusty old one that lied about law school. Come on. Ooh. And I'm rooting for Craig. You know that. Like
they gonna bring that up too. They gonna remember you lied about law school.
I mean, Craig, who lies on TV? Like, you're on a show saying I finished law school and you didn't. Ooh, no, we passed the bar. That's what it was. I'm rooting for Craig because, right? I mean, I'm rooting for Craig because I feel like he's the inner saboteur in all of us. And like when he like taps into the things that he's good at, he's great, right? We all love Craig, but this Craig tastes like old dusty Adderall Craig. Like, Craig, come on. But this is what happens. We've seen this through the years. Craig is a little too full of himself, and then, lied about law school Craig pops out. So, I know we're dwelling on this scene, but as we move it along, I don't understand why JT didn't confront it. Like, what was that?
maybe his leg hurt and he really didn't want to
Well,
get.
I guess what he's trying to say is I rolled over on the situation because I want to slow play this. So I guess what I'm interpreting, because I was a little confused by the whole thing. I guess what JT is trying to say is when Craig says, I swear I heard that even though JT's fuming on the inside, he still wants to get back in with the group. So he feels like he has to like lay down on this one. I don't really understand.
I
And
think
then
I get it.
go ahead.
I think his debut season, he acted a fool, especially with Austin in that bar when he headbutted him and everything.
Came in hot.
So he's trying to be an even keel, even though he's furious and mad. He can still be that way and still be diplomatic because he really did show his ass last time. So I think he's just trying to not be that guy and really be as diplomatic as possible, even when he's pissed to the highest festivity. So
yeah, it's interesting because I do think you're right. I think he knows that he doesn't have a shot at being on this show as like a returning person if he doesn't make nice. I think he knows he did alienate a lot. And let's be real. I mean, you headbutted Austin for what? You weren't dating any woman. Like you didn't have a personal issue to beat him up for. You didn't. And so headbutt him for. He didn't take your money, your girl, he took your dignity, but you kind of gave it to him. So I do understand that part. Although if I were him, I would have said to Craig respectfully, you misheard me. Can we agree to move on that I was talking schmack, but like I'm going to stand up and refuse to let you say I said that. And I'm just going to keep that. And respectfully, right? Because Craig seemed to want to play nice pretty hard too. Or like want it to be fine, right? I don't think Craig realizes like how much this is going to be an issue later on. Because I think he feels real comfortable just being like, yeah, you said that. And I told them that. And you're crazy. And we're going to move on and be friends because we're on a show. Right?
Yeah, they're not the fighter types. They just talk about stuff.
Yeah, and they're gossips, and he's used to doing that kind of crap,
Yeah.
But if I were JT, I still would have said to him, I'm gonna respectfully tell you that you misheard. That I'm gonna respectfully maintain I didn't say that. So we'll figure it out. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I was looking for something more from JT. Of course, not anger and throwing drinks in his face, but like you did not hear me say that. No one heard me say that.
Yeah.
No one has corroborated what you said that you think I said. So at this moving forward, stop saying that I said that. I would like to heard something assertive come from JT to let Craig know, keep that and that out of your mouth about me.
Yeah, like I don't agree with you on the words. So moving forward, why don't we just leave it at I complained about the situation? Okay.
Be like Gaston.
Yeah. Oh, he's still good looking though. I will say that. But yeah, I thought so too. But I feel like at this point, JT really just kind of, I think, wants to get back in. So there we are. A little wormy, a little mealy mouth there. I love that.
We team JT, Craig.
In this one, honestly, don't because that was a lightning rod of a statement. To say that he called Patricia a bitch is a lightning rod of a statement. Yeah, so
not Madison, not Taylor, not Lever, but the
Patricia.
Mama? Come on now.
Right, because she was offended that he handed her a cane. Like, so there was a situation where she could misinterpret. No.
It don't even. Look, we're gonna keep talking, but okay.
I know. We will beat this dead horse just like Southern Charm is on episode 6. However.
Okay, moving on. Shep, he sees Molly looking all good in her Lululemon, or whatever she was wearing, child.
Right.
The Lululemon, walking her big old dog had to pull up like, woo to the hey, the ass too fat, boo boo fat. Trina. Nah, just kidding.
Yeah, whatever that pull-up was ridiculous.
Girl, so many times have I been put. Oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, anyway, this ain't about me. This ain't about me. But yeah, he see Molly walking down. He pull over and start chit chatting. Not really much, but apparently she plays some tuba instrument.
A
And
little
so,
tuba. It's like a mini tuba. I don't know.
girl, I don't know. And so she just tells him about that. And really wasn't much to talk about. Did they talk about anything else?
Well, I will say this. I actually really like them together. I want him to ditch Sienna and get with her. I think that these boys need to stop being stupid and going out with these beautiful 20-year-olds, go out with a beautiful 30-something. Like, she understands Shep, the kind of creature he is. Like, and I thought they had a cute little chemistry. So I'm kind of rooting for this little romance. I would like, once we find out what's going on with, Miss Bahamas, when she like embarrasses him, because we've already heard the rumors that that's coming. I'd like him to turn to Molly for comfort. Okay, that's all I
Oh,
gotta
that'd be
say.
kind of cute.
Yeah, I like it. They have a cute little energy. That's just what I picked up on this scene. And I feel like Molly is very, very, very well aware of what these men all are about. She's partied with them. She's hung out in the same circles. She knows how
Mm-hmm.
polluted their pH is. And she's still, I mean, shoot, if she was willing to date Whitney, she could absolutely get with Shep.
Girl.
Okay? She has standards are painfully realistic for the Charleston area.
Well, I'm rooting for her because she's tall like me. So there it is. Because I really
Same.
don't know much
We
about
both are. You and I are both 5'10". We're
it.
rooting for the tall, funny, real, like, slightly goofy girl, right? Yeah.
Yes. I love her. I kind of too saw a little chemistry there because he didn't have to pull over. You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
well, and then when he said, "I'll come see you play," because he's an elitist. I think he likes the fact that she plays like a musical instrument, is in an orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just could see it.
That'd be cute.
I think it would.
Next, we see Brett and Madison chit-chatting real quick. And, they just, she's catching up with him on his results. And she's just like, don't forget to let me know. Because, before he was just waiting to tell her if there's something wrong. And then she kind of insists that he sees the recommendation doctor from Patricia even before any news come out. And he's like, I don't want to, what's that, cart before the horse? So let's just wait. But she's like, okay, so she's so worried about him. And then that's when I kind of remember that, her dad passed away from cancer. So, she's she's a little she's a lot anxious, but she's just trying to play it cool so that he's not worried about her while he's worried about himself. That's what I thought it was. But
Yeah, I could have done without this scene. Like, give me the results. Tell me he's got a spot. Like, don't drag this out. Like, this is not, it's not working for me. It's like Groundhog's Day. Plus, I feel like they literally grabbed the same shot of them making breakfast in the kitchen and like did it again this episode. Like, sometimes their editing really, really shows through. So, prayers for Brett's health. We haven't heard anything thus far, but like, don't do this. Don't take me on a cancer journey I don't need to be on. Give me the next scene with the results and don't talk about it anymore. Because I bet you he's fine. So.
Now, by the way, her hair is just too cute. I love how she crimps it like that and has to kind of airy out. I don't know what it's called, but it's just so cute.
Yes.
And to be honest, that crimpy look is so cute on anybody. Because I love when I when I put on my wigs and I crimp the hair. I just think that crimp look is it's just too cute for anybody, to be honest.
I mean, she always looks impeccable. That's what you got to give Madison for. And Brett enjoys looking at her every day of his life.
Oh, for sure. She's pretty. Yeah, she's beautiful.
Yes. And put together. She makes, being a hairdresser, she makes sure she looks cute.
Definitely, Now, is he there full time again, or is he still going back and forth?
He's going back and forth, and I saw in a chat room, he works in Northern California in the Sacramento area, so people were asking if he might potentially be fighting the fires down in LA, and I don't know how many resources they've pulled. I know other states are coming to help us and all of that, but anyway, just a little piece of information. I do think he's still doing both.
And since you mentioned it, let's give a little shout out to those affected by the wildfires down here in Southern California. We're in Southern California, but we're nowhere near where the fires are. Like I'm an hour and a half, almost 2 hours away. You're what? Probably the same distance, maybe an hour, a little
Oh
bit.
no, that we were only about 30 miles away from the
Oh, really?
Malibu. Yeah. Oh no, we had
What?
ash raining on the sidewalk.
That's
Kids,
right. You did say
yeah,
that.
kids had to wear masks on Friday. No, the Malibu fires, like Palisades and stuff, we absolutely Long Beach had an unhealthy air effect for a couple days. Um, so we were much closer. Um, but safe nonetheless. Safe
Yes.
nonetheless. And
Yes.
we are LA County, Long Beach, northern area, I'm sure had a lot more poor air quality because we're like right on the border of Orange County. So like I'm kind of at the low end of Long Beach, but hearts and prayers and
All that.
all of that to our SoCal brethren, our LA folks.
And in the description box, there will be some info for those who want to help out, donate, whatever the case may be, whatever's on your heart and on your mind. So just look out for that in the description box. So shout out to them. Okay. My notes. What happened? Okay, here they go. So next we're at Taylor. She's having dinner with Rodrigo. And again, are they married, him and Tyler? Or are they just shacking up? I
I
forget.
don't know. I feel bad. Like I feel like they might have mentioned it, but I don't know.
Well, anywho,
Significant other?
well, Taylor having dinner, some chicken parmesan and salad, arugula salad. That salad look good. I don't know about you,
The
but I love me some
salad looked
arugula.
good. The rest of it looked kind of
Woo!
bulky, but okay.
That arugula, you see, I didn't say nothing else. That arugula. I love me some arugula, which is just a little bit of spice, just a little bit of color. But I love me some arugula salad, girl. Oh my goodness. Anywho, my mom, I'm gonna go give me some today, as a matter of fact. Shoot. So Taylor's having dinner with Rodrigo and his significant other, Tyler. And of course, they tell her the tea. Girl, let me tell you what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you what happened at Paige and Craig's. So pretty much they told her what Salley said. And, that just started the thing off. And Taylor just had, some things to say, not so nice and everything. And what's his name? Rodrigo was concerned whether or not Gaston convinced her to cancel the party. She's like, nah, she wasn't feeling it, of course, because she was, she's still grieving and everything. So she really wasn't feeling it. She really wished that her brother was there to celebrate. I can understand that,
Yeah, I mean, I am absolutely empathetic or sympathetic because I haven't lost a sibling, especially probably the tragic way that she lost her brother.
Yeah.
Um, so I do have a lot of sympathy for that. I also feel though, I feel like she doesn't have it in her for this season so far. She really doesn't. She's avoiding conflict. She's avoiding bringing her boyfriend into the mix, trying to protect her relationship. I feel like
Mhm.
she's just not here to be a part of it because she took a beating last season. Because her integrity kind of was questioned there, and she had a rough time with the breakup, and
Yeah.
then now she's grieving. So I don't know what the answer is, but I kind of hate to break it to Taylor, but I'm kind of like, girl, you should have maybe opted to check out this season because you are checked out this season.
I think she is highly embarrassed about her behavior.
Agreed.
With the whole thing with Austin, and even Shep, trying to continue something on some homie lover friend type of thing, some friends with benefits situation, and he really wasn't feeling her in that way. So I think her, she was grasping at straws, and then she met Gaston at a great time in her life, and he supported her. It made her not want to go in that direction with Shep. It made her forget all about Austin in that way. I don't even think they even talked, from what I understand, since
no, yeah,
didn't even know anything about a whole lot about Taylor. So that really hasn't been explored. But at the same time, I think we can kind of guess. Like you say, she's protecting her relationship with Gaston. He came at a point in time where it was very significant. And don't shoot the messenger, y'all. This is just my opinion. For all y'all Bible thumpers out there, whenever situations arise and it's real heavy, you seem to look for a lifeline. And within the biblical terms, sometimes it's an angel in disguise. I think that's Gaston for her. And because of all the stress and strife she was participating in and going through, and I just think she's not that she's not really into him, but I think that plays a part with her, growing up as a Christian.
I get what you're saying. It's interesting. Here's what I think. I think, and it goes a little bit towards how even like Vanita admitted that, like people were trepidatious about rebuilding their friendship with her because she straight up lied to Olivia's face. I think that's the part where she carries the shame, where her and Austin decided like not to tell. And at first she kind of felt really justified about being like, you shouldn't be upset. It's not that big a deal. Like we kissed and we decided, but she didn't really understand. No, but you looked me in my face on more than one occasion,
right?
And you lied to it. And you, as my friend, knowing the kind of history I had with this person, you damn well should have just come clean and not made it. Why'd you honor your pact with Austin? Why didn't you like tell Austin, I'm sorry, but my feelings toward my friend are more important?
She I think you were all team Olivia.
Right. So right, I'm rambling here. Anyway,
just saying.
no, but you're let me stick it back up though, because so then we find out after Shep, I think she was hoeing around with the Southern Hospitality folks. That's what I think. I don't watch that show, but I know she's in the mix, right? Mm-hmm. And I think she was hooking up with Ponytail Guy, remember? Because remember, the PH balance is real. Yeah, thank you. Is that his name?
He's on Hospitality too?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
But
just in addition to. Yeah.
Yes. Because so I think that Taylor disengaged from the group because she was really embarrassed that everybody was saying your integrity is shitty because you're a liar and you betrayed your friend, right? I think she started, still trying to move on from Shep, having all kinds of adventures. And there was Andrew. And then she said she found herself on a date with Gaston and they fell into a relationship, right? And part of the angel thing, like what you're talking about, happened. So she's desperate to hang on to this happy place in a world where she's got a lot of like embarrassment and whatever to do. And the one thing though that I think, I don't know, I feel like it's a little Mean Girl of like Leva and Vanita and them to be like, you have to build your way back to trust. Why? She didn't lie to you, but then she did lie to her face. I get it. I just feel a little bad for Taylor in the sense that like, I understand why she's not running to hang out with y'all. But at the same time, stand up for yourself, Taylor. Come back and say, I'm in a relationship. I messed up. I went through a really rough time. Shep really messed me up. My brother messed me up. I'm here to participate. Leave me alone. I'm not hoeing it anymore. Or lying. You know what I mean?
She probably doesn't have the wherewithal to do that at this point.
You're probably, yes, I agree.
No shade, but did she finish college?
I don't know.
Just trying to figure out where her mind is at and what education level she has. Because sometimes that may play a part in how people can deal with things and respond to things. Maybe like when I said the wherewithal, does because even though she's 30, she's had very limited experience of life.
I know. I was surprised when she said she was turning 30. I was like, you seem so much younger. But honestly, how long was she with Shep? They were together during the pandemic. So I think she
7
was with
years, I think she said 7.
I don't know. Like, maybe he met her when she was very young. She gave him her 20s, basically.
Yeah,
You know
half
what
his
I
age.
mean? So I feel like she's just trying to refigure herself out now that the investment that she made in marrying Shep has like worn off and she's over that. I think that was the biggest problem she had last season, is that she couldn't get over the investment she had put into marrying Shep because that's what she expected to happen.
Girl, listen. I'm look. We all grown over here, y'all. Listen. We don't cater to cheering, especially on Ray Ray All Day channel. And what I'm about to say, I'm about to say. My motto, and this is just a little bit of me, letting you know about me. My motto is: you hit this twice, we go together. That's it. That's all. I don't want to hear nothing else about it. So if we go together, that means we are monogamous. It's all good, and we going towards something. Because it ain't just about us going here and there and here. No, we are establishing something. But that wasn't it for. But that wasn't the same for Taylor. That's my point of saying that in that what has she been doing with her life? What life experiences has she had outside of Shep? It seems very limited in this show. It seems very limited, like having fun, living your life, and like she tried that business thing last time, and she was failing at the time she was presenting it. So that's where I'm like, where is she? Like, what is she doing? What's going on with her other than just what we see? I don't, and it's okay, but I'm just trying to see where's her head at. What, how is she navigating? Is she navigating as she goes through it? Does she have any previous life experience to where she can say those things, but because she hasn't, is it because she can't? Because because these are real grown folk experiences, and she's handling it like a child, in my opinion. I'm just saying. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
she, I think, hasn't mastered. She's a conflict avoidant or confrontation avoidant because it seems like that's where she's not, or she's struggling. I also, to your point, Salley came out the gate. We knew that she has a career that, has gotten her a house as a single woman. She's doing well. She has a certain level of confidence because of her skill set and what she's about. So I think that that part of Taylor seems more, what we're seeing more of Taylor is just whatever relationship she's attached to. So that's some food for thought maybe to you,
yeah,
Taylor. Like you're saying, who are you without a man? What's your career? What's your thing? What do you do? Like, I'm a writer. I'm working on a novel on top of like what I'm doing as my day job, because like, and let me tell you something, Taylor, I have stupidly chased after dudes all over the place, and you will save yourself a lot of
hello.
heartache and envy if you figure out who you are and what you do before who you're with.
That's true.
So
Now, on top of all of that, there was a little bit extra to that conversation because when they're telling, as she's letting them know some things, she also lets them know that Salley invited her to to the housewarming. And she's like, I don't know if I want to go. But Rodrigo was like, you should go, and pretty much, let her know how you feel about things, And I'm
yeah,
like,
are you in this friend group or not, girl? Get in.
I mean, I think Rodrigo sees it, but as a friend, you want to lead them to the water, so to speak.
I think he cares about Taylor. Remember, he hit Olivia real hard in the reunion for her. I think
He
he
sure
loves
did.
Taylor,
Yeah.
right? I mean, let's not forget
Let's
Rodrigo
not
came
forget.
at it. We were like, "Whoa, dude! A little toxic masculinity just shot out of your mouth." Um, I think he cares about Taylor, but I think he's also like looking at her like, we're on a reality show, babe. We got to interact. We have to be confrontational. And what is it Shep or Austin I mean, Shep or, well, actually, it could have been Shep, Austin, or Craig. I literally can't tell you who. I think it might be Austin now that I'm thinking about it. It's like the one person you don't want to have an uncomfortable conversation with is the person you have to talk to on a show. So, the sooner you accept that that's your fate, the better off you are. And I think Taylor needs to accept that fate a little bit better. I get it. She's kind of not mentally fit, I think is what she's kind of trying to let us know. But it's like, girl, television don't care. Television does not
really
care.
they don't. They really don't. They just want to see some stuff, and it's not always about the rah-rah. It's about giving good TV. And so, like on this show, again, there doesn't have to be fights, or I mean there have been, but there doesn't have to be any physical confrontations. But just like the conversation Salley had with Madison and Paige, that was some good TV because she was giving them a whole lot. They're like, girl, what? Like
you can stand up for yourself and not have it. You could look at Salley and say, Salley, can you and I just agree that from here on out, we will not talk about our exes at all? I won't talk about the ponytail guy that you're with at this party that I've been with, and you won't talk about Gaston anymore because you're now with the guy that I was with. And we both have Shep coming over to visit. So can we just agree moving forward? No more PH conversations, please. No PH crosshairs.
And that's where we're getting into, because that's exactly what happened for the most part, except for the part about Andrew, just the part about Gaston. As we go into the next scene, right?
Right.
So at Sally's party, everybody shows up, pretty much almost everybody shows up. And my thing was, girl, I can't even get it out good. She had keys already, and she just moved in 2 hours ago.
And why is she with this dude all hugged up? Like, didn't you love? I mean, like, girl, are you not without a man? You're showing me that you don't like to be without a guy. You're talking about you like your new type. Get out of here. You're one of those ladies. You don't have a type. You have a I don't want to be alone type.
Girl, my hand is up. Girl, wait a damn minute. Look, niece, if you listen, watch, listen. Salley, girl, it's Auntie Ray talking. Don't no man supposed to have keys to your new house or any house unless he's paying the mortgage. He don't have no keys. Not even for emergency. That's what your parents is for. That's what your best girlfriends or guy friends is for. He don't need no key. If he is screwing you, he needs to be paying the mortgage if he got a key. And he even got to live there. Just girl. Girl, so wait a minute. Is he paying the mortgage?
Sure isn't. He's got a key and a yoga mat rolled up there.
My voice had got all high. Wait a minute. I went from alto to soprano. Girl.
You told me a lot, Salley.
He making more than $400K. Let's just put that on out there since we put it on out there. What does he have on the mortgage?
He got keys. Salley doesn't like to be alone. That's what she let me know by this situation right here.
I was just thinking that this lonely heifer then gave away the keys to the palace.
She doesn't like to be alone. And I get it. Like, okay, here's your Achilles heel, baby girl. Remember? Oh, and then we get a little bit more about her history. Fiance, right? Wealthy, all the boxes. She found out he was cheating. Then she's with Gaston. They say, I love you. Found out he was cheating. I mean, these ladies in their pickers. I mean, I'm not saying many. I mean, listen, because the waters are sad out there. That's why I actually don't have, I believe that Salley can't be alone and Gaston ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like, two things can be true because it really is some sad waters. But Salley, you're a beautiful, professional, successful woman. This is what we're doing. Okay.
Well, I hate to say it, but the most beautiful women have picked the wrong men. I ain't gonna say no names, but we all know a good 3 that the world has deemed as the bomb.org that picked the wrong dude. Just saying. So it is what it is.
Well, and Men ain't shit these days. The dating world is a wasteland of travesty, and I'm sure most women in Charleston could tell you that. Molly talks and jokes about that. That's why even Whitney looks like an eligible bachelor, doddering around like strung out Duran Duran.
In his pinstripe.
Oh,
Listen, okay, to be honest, I don't really subscribe to that, but I do get it. It's a whole lot of mess out there that would deter and have folks saying that. For me, I just think we just haven't met the right one. Because it's a gazillion people out there that we haven't met. It
True.
just so happens who we have met.
True.
So I'm gonna keep that for myself. I'm a hopeful for everybody else, but I truly want women to stop subscribing to. This is not against what you said, but from what I hear, that statistic about there's so many men for every woman. I really do want women to stop thinking that, so that we're not acting in that way and accepting things that we don't normally accept. But we're what is that word? Settling.
Yeah.
Because of a statistic, a so-called statistic that's been pushed so that we can give them more outs, give men, for those of us who are into men, because a whole lot of folks going in and out of whatever. But for the women who are into men, right, that statistic is just, to me, something that gets men off the hook for certain things that women don't put up with normally.
And on to that point, this is a little bit of Aaron's like personal. I, as a single parent at the point I'm at in my life, I'm setting up my life to be perfectly content to be alone, because to be with some subpar stuff. Because like you said, there are so many people in this world, and I'm going to stay open to the fact that there is the right fit and all of these things. But guess what? I'm going to be Glenn Close. I'm going to be Tracy Ellis Ross. I'm going to be all of the successful ladies navigating their own careers, their happiness, their lives, their children, all of that, with so much more happiness and satisfaction than to be in some mediocre drudgery with some fool that is acting like I'm so lucky that I'm putting up with his, ridiculousness. You know what I mean? Because no. So I'm perfectly fine with the alternative, because listen, you can always catch a D. You can always go out and find an evening, and you can always do that. But make sure you have a life that you love.
Definitely.
Because not worth it to be in any of these mediocre relationships.
Excuse me. That's true. That is true. Now, this party situation, right? That whole, like, the segue when you mentioned how Salley and Taylor talked about, let's just agree to not discuss certain folks. As soon as Salley said, I agree not to bring Gaston up, Taylor leaves, says her goodbyes, and Salley talking about Gaston the folks. Like, Heifer, didn't you? So she doesn't respect Taylor. She doesn't, she's just out for self, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And she's looking like a little toxic.
It's looking sus. I agree with you. I told you my opinion on her. Not that let me put it this way. I was not riding for Salley like she had all these integrity. I still hold fast to the notion that, yes, you dated Gaston, and if he told you he loved you and he cheated on you and he was a jerk, you can hold on to the fact that he was a jerk to you.
Yes.
And that's cool. Like, that's what happened, and fine. But if he is now in a healthy relationship and you are a new person entering this group in a relationship with a man that has a key to your house, you could really be not talking about this anymore to the level of which you are. Girl. It doesn't look cute. You just look like a hoe that can't be alone. The way Shep met Andrew and was like, Oh, we know it. And Sally's like, use up with Taylor. He's like, the way that all three of them have literally, I mean, get out of here.
Just that she looking desperate. I'm just saying she looking like
Oh.
someone who can't let go. And it's just not a song by Mariah Carey. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I will give you that.
You got all this going on for yourself and you can't let go. Like I said, it's only episode 6. Wait till episode 10. We're gonna find out a lot more.
And Gaston could have been a total a-hole to her and now be treating
That's
Taylor
true.
right. Those things can happen. Men do
That's
that.
true.
So, you know. And if Taylor's in a healthy relationship now, I will say, you know, listen, Taylor was probably talking smack about Salley too, feeling threatened, but like you guys have literally overlapped every which way. Every which way. Shep, Andrew, and Gaston. Yuck.
So next we're going to get into Craig and then Paige and Craig and then Austin, right?
Yeah.
So Craig and Austin, before we get into that, Vanita's talking to, what's her name? Leva about wanting to jump in the pool, right? So then she jumps in the pool, but she kind of gets overwhelmed by the water and she takes in too much water, I guess. And she looks like she's having trouble making it to the side of the pool. So, of course, Craig jumps in because he's a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
He's the sober one of the group, I guess. He jumps in and saves her. And, so both of them drenching wet and they getting all dried off and everything. And, Vanita didn't seem embarrassed. I guess that's what people do. They just jump in folks' pool by themselves. I don't know. It was weird that why'd she do that?
I do have to bring up a strange side note for a second because I don't know that Craig was sober because there was a scene where Austin walked up to Craig and said, "Trop hop?" And he said something like, "Of course." And he had the beer in a beer cozy. I've heard before that Craig had taken drinking down to only beer. And then this season, then it was maybe only NA beer. But I'm
sorry, what?
Trop Hop is Austin's beer brand.
Okay.
And so I don't know if Austin makes a non-alcoholic beer. I need to look that up, but I'm just going to tell you it was something I noticed because I'm a little confused about, like, Craig, are you proclaiming you are on a hard-nosed sobriety kick? Or is it a little fuzzier like it is with a lot of people, which is fine. I'm just telling you I caught it and it was weird. So I don't really know exactly what's going on. Craig might have decided he's not drinking at all by the end of the season or something. But anyway, just telling you, as per usual, the Southern Charm substance declarations don't feel so finite to me. I'll even maybe go look through. Women in Charleston could tell you that. Molly talks and jokes about that. That's why even Whitney looks like an eligible bachelor, doddering around like strung out Duran Duran.
In his pinstripe. Listen, okay, to be honest, I don't really subscribe to that, but I do get it. It's a whole lot of mess out there that would deter and have folks saying that. For me, I just think we just haven't met the right one. Because it's a gazillion people out there that we haven't met. It just so happens who we have met.
True.
So I'm gonna keep that for myself. I'm a hopeful for everybody else, but I truly want women to stop subscribing to. This is not against what you said, but from what I hear, that statistic about there's so many men for every woman. I really do want women to stop thinking that, so that we're not acting in that way and accepting things that we don't normally accept. But we're what is that word? Settling because of a statistic, a so-called statistic that's been pushed so that we can give them more outs, give men, for those of us who are into men, because a whole lot of folks going in and out of whatever. But for the women who are into men, right? That statistic is just, to me, something that gets men off the hook for certain things that women don't put up with normally.
And on to that point, this is a little bit of Aaron's like personal. I, as a single parent at the point I'm at in my life, I'm setting up my life to be perfectly content to be alone, because to be with some subpar stuff. Because like you said, there are so many people in this world, and I'm going to stay open to the fact that there is the right fit and all of these things. But guess what? I'm going to be Glenn Close. I'm going to be Tracy Ellis Ross. I'm going to be all of the successful ladies navigating their own careers, their happiness, their lives, their children, all of that, with so much more happiness and satisfaction than to be in some mediocre drudgery with some fool that is acting like I'm so lucky that I'm putting up with his, ridiculousness. You know what I mean? Because no. So I'm perfectly fine with the alternative, because listen, you can always catch a D. You can always go out and find an evening, and you can always do that. But make sure you have a life that you love.
Definitely.
Because not worth it to be in any of these mediocre relationships.
Excuse me. That's true. That is true. Now, this party situation, right? That whole, like, the segue when you mentioned how Salley and Taylor talked about, let's just agree to not discuss certain folks. As soon as Salley said, I agree not to bring Gaston up, Taylor Lee says her goodbyes, and Salley talking about Gaston to folks. Like, Heifer, didn't you? So she doesn't respect Taylor. She doesn't, she's just out for self, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And she's looking like a little toxic.
It's looking sus. I agree with you. I told you my opinion on her. Not that I like, let me put it this way. I was not riding for Salley like she had all these integrity. I still hold fast to the notion that, yes, you dated Gaston, and if he told you he loved you and he cheated on you and he was a jerk, you can hold on to the fact that he was a jerk to you.
Yes.
And that's cool. Like, that's what happened, and fine. But if he is now in a healthy relationship and you are a new person entering this group in a relationship with a man that has a key to your house, you could really be not talking about this anymore to the level of which you are. Girl. It doesn't look cute. You just look like a hoe that can't be alone. The way Shep met Andrew and was like, oh, we know it. And Sally's like, use love with Taylor. He's like, the way that all three of them have literally, get out of here.
Just that she looking desperate. I'm just saying, she looking like someone who can't let go. And it's just not a song by Mariah Carey. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I will give you that.
You got all this going on for yourself and you can't let go. Like I said, it's only episode 6. Wait till episode 10. We're going to find out a lot more.
And Gaston could have been a total a-hole to her and now be treating Taylor right. Those things can happen. Men do that. True. So, and if Taylor's in a healthy relationship now, I will say, listen, Taylor was probably talking smack about Salley too, feeling threatened, but like, you guys have literally overlapped every which way. Every which way. Shep, Andrew, and Gaston. Yuck.
So next we're going to get into Craig, and then Paige and Craig, and then Austin, right?
Yeah.
So Craig and Austin, before we get into that, Vanita's talking to, what's her name? Leva, about wanting to jump in the pool, right? So then she jumps in the pool, but she kind of gets overwhelmed by the water, and she takes in too much water, I guess. And she looks like she's having trouble making it to the side of the pool. So of course Craig jumps in because he's a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
He's the sober one of the group, I guess. He jumps in and saves her, and so both of them drenching wet and they getting all dried off and everything. And Benita didn't seem embarrassed. I guess that's what people do. They just jump in folks' pool by themselves. I don't know. It was a little weird that she. Why'd she do that?
I do have to bring up a strange side note for a second because I don't know that Craig was sober because there was a scene where Austin walked up to Craig and said, "Trop hop," and he said something like, "Of course," and he had the beer in a beer cozy. I've heard before that Craig had taken drinking down to only beer, and then this season, then it was maybe only NA beer. But I
I'm sorry, what?
Trop hop is Austin's beer brand.
Okay.
And so I don't know if Austin makes a non-alcoholic beer. I need to look that up, but I'm just going to tell you it was something I noticed because I'm a little confused about, like, Craig, are you proclaiming you are on a hard-nosed sobriety kick? Or is it a little fuzzier like it is with a lot of people, which is fine. I'm just telling you I caught it and it was weird. So I don't really know exactly what's going on. Craig might have decided he's not drinking at all by the end of the season or something. But anyway, just telling you, as per usual, the Southern Charm substance declarations don't feel so finite to me. I'll even maybe go look through and like send you the clip.
I remember it being a darker black can. Is that what you're referring to? Because I recall that what he was drinking.
There was a scene at the party where Austin says to Craig, "Trop hop," and he says something like, "Of course." And then Austin complains that Craig is acting like nothing's wrong. So yeah, I'm just telling you, I noticed and I was like, wait a minute. If Craig's drinking Trop hop, he's not drinking non-alcoholic beer unless Austin has got a non-alcoholic beer line from his own that I'm unaware of. And like I said, I really honestly don't care, other than if you're going to push sobriety, then don't be doing that, So figure that one out. But, yeah, well, the thing about the Southern Charm boys is I think they do a lot of things, and I don't think they're honest about it. I think they're only now maybe becoming a little more clean as their problems arise. You know what I mean? I mean, Craig talked about Austin being zannied out after a hard night of partying, so you can only imagine. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I digress yet again.
It's too much, Lord. It's too much. Well, anywho, what was I saying?
Vanita, Craig, that was cute. Sorry, way long little sidetrack, but getting back to it, Vanita, don't jump in the pool. Yeah. It was a moment that was just nothing but embarrassing.
Like, girl, what?
Drunkenness. That's what it was.
But I say that because I've seen in previous different franchises or whatever, they jump in the pool, but she was the only one. It would be like at least 2 or 3 that, and we have fun. We may swim in our clothes, but she was the only one. I'm like, was she hoping someone else would jump in?
Oh, I know. JT wasn't there. I think everybody got a little too schmammered at that party, especially when you saw the state of it the next day, the backyard.
And that's the thing. She's, in her confessional, I had a little too much to drink. Well, why the hell are you jumping in the pool drunk?
Getting over laryngitis.
That too. Voice all high, Karen. I'm like, girl, what? So anyway, Craig saved the day, child. They didn't have to call 911 or nothing, child. She caught her breath, pumped her lungs up and everything.
Yep.
Gave him something dry to wear. He overrun. Oh, and then, girl, the humdinger. Yeah, I'll give you some clothes of Andrew. He got clothes too over there. He got a drawer. He better be paying that mortgage. Girl, what is going on over there, Salley? Girl,
This
Salley,
party.
girl.
Oh, another thing. This is one thing I hate about Madison. This is one thing I hate about, like, you're on an ensemble show. You all have to interact with each other. The way that Madison's like, I'm done with you, Craig. Like, she's so mad. You're talking to JT. He's the enemy. It's like, get out of here. He had coffee with him. The way Madison and Austin tried to weaponize the JT interaction was stupid.
Girl, thanks for bringing that up. It was dumb.
It was dumb. And then Madison, how old are you? 12? Like, we can't talk to other people on the basketball court, even though we're on the team. Get out of here.
I have a little theory when I thought about how she's, moving nowadays, just like how she called Austin. We'll get into that. But just like how she's moving, it seems like she's being very cautious as to not allow Brett to question her movement.
I guess.
Because
clinging to a storyline.
Because remember, we both agreed that how they called JT, questioning JT and Madison, and then she came real hard at JT when they met up. It just seemed like she's making sure that Brett doesn't question her again.
Yes, I do think, well, everybody, we all agree that the phone call was weird, that shows the slip of their relationship a little bit. Yeah. Madison, I think it was either on Watch What Happens Live or an interview or something. She was basically making it clear that Brett was calling to make sure she wasn't with Austin. That's what that was. So JT was confirming what happened and, of course, assumed that it was insinuating toward him. And honestly, the reality is that's a factor, right? Like, it's not natural for exes to be hanging out, drinking, and like away on trips on the level that they are without other significant others, all of that stuff. I think Madison, though, is trying very, very hard to keep this, like, we have a perfect thing going, So,
she's go ahead.
She's just overreacting to everybody else.
I can understand, because for me, I think me and Brett may be similar in that way, where why are you hanging with, I understand you're filming with your ex, but I may want some reassurance that you and your ex aren't hanging out together, because, he may see what we see. He may think there is an imbalance of pH going on because folks don't know how to keep it to themselves, so I'm sure we're not the only ones who think like this or who have said it. Yeah. So I can understand, but at the same time, I think Madison is really pressing the issue that, and given the fact of, RAERAES, that we always got to bring that up because.
True. I mean, she's not above or below anything she want to do.
We ain't the only ones who know she broke him and J-Lo up.
I know, much. Right? The world knows. True.
Well, pretty much a contributing factor. Maybe something else was going on, but definitely she was the girl he was seeing because Craig let that slip. But anyway, so to me, I really think Madison is really putting it on thick. So that Brett is reassured that I am not cheating on you, boo. It ain't nothing like that. I am into you. That's it. That's all. Even when you ain't here. No, boo boo. So.
Yeah, I just absolutely would not tolerate, like, if you're going to confront me after you've had a couple drinks at a party and be like, how dare you sit there and talk with so-and-so if you're my friend? I'd be like, get out of here. I just I would not. I'd be like, I am your friend. I have to do this. Like, get out of here. No, you're not going to treat me like that. No, when somebody like starts acting like that, especially when it's kind of more of a minor thing, like, I won't, get out of here. Madison overreacts like that, though. So that's part of the thing you have to tolerate being friends with her.
Yeah, I noticed that when she went off on JT.
Yeah, yes. And it's like, okay.
So Craig and Austin, right back to Craig, as he jumps in and saves her, he moves as he gets dry, he put on Andrew clothes and everything. So he went to Andrew's room and picked out an outfit, child. So he moseys on over to Austin to just talk with him. And yeah, so he pretty much gave it to us like, listen, we're not working out. He pretty much, did the Dear John letter. We ain't working out. This, I don't think we're gonna make it. So how about we just dissolve everything and I'll buy you out? And Whitney was like, no, don't stay together. I love you two together. Yada, yada, yada. But Craig pretty much had it because he had that conversation with Paige earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And she pretty much like, yeah, just let him know what's up, whoop de whoop. And pretty much you can do it on your own. Pretty much she pumped him up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, a lot. Are you kidding?
What I was going to say was I really would have liked to know what transpired before that, because she was more politically correct with him. Well, not so much as dissolve it, but she was more or less just giving him ideas on how to talk to Austin. So between that and now, it's like dissolve it, get rid of him. You can do it on your own. You can just, I'm like, dang. So I would like to know what transpired between those two conversations that we saw.
I think we already saw what happened. Remember how she said Austin just wants to blame your changes on me, that like make this about like I pulled you away and all of that. And I think that Paige has a very tainted view of Austin. I personally, especially now that Paige and Craig have broken up and Paige is so happy to be moved on, I actually think this was really not the right advice, because she's actually discounting the fact that Craig can easily backslide and fall into his own stuff. I think that they needed to have much more of a come to Jesus conversation, because they are castmates on a show. There's a lot of things, investment, all of that kind of stuff. I just think Paige is all too happy to have Austin gone, especially if the storyline is being with her is ruining everything else for Craig, right? And let's be real, I think part of the reason that she's done with this relationship is she had to put an incredible amount of work into Craig and getting him to where he is, to want to be this responsible, functioning person with a lot of support, So I don't know. It's interesting. I did not agree with her at all. I thought completely kicking Austin out of the whole thing was not the move. Maybe threatening to if things don't get better, sure. But I think she did it because she really doesn't appreciate Austin's perspective on their relationship.
Well, that's interesting, but I can't believe it,
Whether she even realizes it or not. Do you know what I mean? I just think it would taint the lens at which she would look at having him around.
That's a shame. But the ultimate decision was Craig's for him to bring that to Austin, no matter what his influence was.
True.
He felt the way. He was the one behaving or not behaving in a certain way to where Austin and Shep would call him out, even though he is about his business. I would have liked a more better communication amongst all of them. Like, hey, I'm really, trying to get my business together, and it takes a lot more of my time. So we may spend less time together if it's not about business. But he said that after the fact. It's like he was expecting them to know. Yeah. And that's not how you work as friends, especially if they're not business minded in that way. If they're expecting to hang out, they're not expecting to hang out due to a business model. You know what I'm saying? So I would have liked a better communication from Craig, considering he is a businessman. So communication is key. So maybe he took them for granted, just like they took him for granted.
I think so. I just think they all need to dust off their expectations of one another and everything. I also think that they all need to be kind of patient with each other, because everyone is entering the next phase of their lives willingly and unwillingly, right? Like they are all in their Shep is in his mid 40s. I think he's like 44, 45. Craig is 35. Austin, I think, is around Craig's. Like, you're entering the age where like different lifestyle needs to be emerging for your own good, So, but Austin and Shep still have Austin and Craig still have their podcast. So.
Oh, they do?
Yes, they do. And they just opened up a restaurant together in Charleston.
I was just going to ask you, since they're not discussing on the show their restaurant, I was going to ask you, how is that going? Because, if he's talking, I was thinking, well, if he's talking about dissolving that, he's definitely talking about dissolving the restaurant.
No, I don't. No, it opened. I think they might have even had the Southern Charm premiere party there, which Paige was not at. And it just recently opened right when the season premiered, and from what I heard, it's like it was a soft opening, but I heard it's doing well. So, yeah.
And it's in Charleston.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Craig is Charleston. He has Sewing Down South. Like, I think ultimately whether that really was the biggest problem for Paige and Craig is that Craig's career is branded regionally.
Okay.
He's Sewing Down South, right? Southern Charm. He's known in the Charleston area. It's now become a tourist thing to go and do different things in Charleston because the Southern Charmers have different restaurants. You have Leva's bar and club. Now you have Austin and Craig's bar and restaurant. I think it's called By the Ways or something like that. Anyway, so I'm rambling a lot this episode.
No, it's good because I want to know, because I was like, well, what's going on with the restaurant thing, But yeah, that's good.
I think that's why I'm struggling with the storyline a little bit, because like if you're paying attention at all to where they're at in this situation, it's like they're still together, and ultimately I'm glad for that because Craig's relationship with Paige didn't survive, so making a ton of changes and and like compromises to what Paige wants is really not in Craig's best interests anymore. So it's hard to watch him kind of choose to do those things, knowing that the relationship doesn't survive. And so Craig is honestly better off settling deeper into Charleston.
Well, I'll say. Well, let's see. I think that was it about Austin. Austin, just one quick blurb. He brought his girlfriend, Audrey, is that her name?
I almost fast forwarded through the scene. That's all I'll say about that.
Now, there's one thing about this scene I want to bring up, but he did bring his girlfriend to meet his parents. They had a good time. She was real nonchalant. Personally, I thought she was on the edible because she was real, putting her arms back behind. It looked like it to me because listen, she was sitting there, at the bar, at the kitchen, what's that center thing they put
island?
Thank you, center island. And she got her hand behind it. It was like Austin, a chair between them, and then her. She had her hand behind the middle chair, just leaning back, chill, like. and she was real, just chilling. It just seemed like she was on the edible.
Probably.
Some people don't want to smell like they got weed in their system, so they take an edible. So I'm like, I'm sure she had an 2 or 3 edibles that morning before he came to pick her up, because she just seemed real chill. That's all I gotta say. Real chill.
She seems so young.
A gin and tonic. What 21-year-old is drinking gin and tonic?
She seems so young. Like I literally, it was painful to get through this. Austin and his love life still ain't holding a bit of interest for me.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right. Real relaxed.
But anywho, that was it for them. And I think, was that it? Was that all of the episode, girl?
Yeah, pretty much.
That was it, huh? Yeah, episode 7 gonna be a little fiery because again, Salley can't keep that man's name out of mouth.
Sure can't.
Oh, I noticed something, girl. I noticed something. in the preview, Salley told, when Salley was talking to Taylor, she told Taylor that her and Gaston were a hot item. But in the show, they didn't show that. Did you notice that in the preview?
Where she said, like, oh, Gaston was good in bed. I know he was.
Yes.
I did see that. Yes.
I'm like, what's going on? Is it on Peacock? Or are they just giving us certain versions on Bravo?
I watched on Peacock. I didn't catch that. No, because that was shots fired when that
I was waiting. That's why I was like, "Ooh, let me see this episode."
Yeah,
like what?
I know. I told you.
It's obvious Salley is a little more experienced than Taylor. I'm just saying, because she comes off as someone who, and she kept interrupting Taylor. And that's also a clue that Salley don't respect Taylor at all. When you keep interrupting them on purpose, you don't want to hear what they have to say, no matter what they're saying. And Taylor kept stopping, So Salley is showing her dominance over
She
Taylor.
is. Well, and I also think they're different personalities. Salley likes to point out the painfully awkward. She's done it at 2 different occasions now, like especially at her party and at the doggy birthday party. But the part where I agree with you is the way when she talked to Vanita afterwards, when Vanita came over to return clothes from the pool incident. The way that she was like, I don't want to hurt Taylor. I don't want to do it. Yes, you do. Ben, you don't care. You do not. Don't take.
What happened? Elaborate.
So the last scene when Vanita returns the clothes the next day and Salley and her mom are cleaning up and Vanita and Salley talk, Vanita, that's when Salley talks to Vanita about the conversation she had with Taylor. And she told her, she's like, I told her that certain people in this group told me to be careful of you. And that was when Vanita was saying, well, she knows that we told her at the last reunion, you have to earn your way back to trust. And, because she had lied about the Austin thing.
Okay.
And the thing is that Salley tries to come off like she's not trying to make this worse for Taylor. And it's like, yes, you are. You don't.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you do not care about Taylor at all. Don't take any nice tone with this. Don't take well, I'm not trying to make it worse, or I'm not trying to throw it in her face. Yeah, no, don't take that tone. So that's where Salley lost some points with me, because I was like,
right,
you don't care about this girl, and that's fine, but don't play in my face. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear that?
What?
Girl, I thought I heard someone talking. Oh, that was weird. That's why I was like, hello.
Ooh, ma'am.
It's something going on with these wires, child. Look, all these changes going on in the government. No telling what's going on, child. I thought I heard somebody talking. And it wasn't us.
Right? Or somebody, you listen. Or, the spirit is in the premises.
Oh my God. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, if you want to have that kind of conversation, hit me up in the DM, psychic_ELB.
Okay, shoot, y'all. Okay. So I think that was a clue to say this is it for Southern Charm. See the 10th, episode 6. We appreciate you. And if there's anything else, you let us know in the comments. Did we miss anything? I think we thorough, but just let us know if we missed anything. If you got anything you wanted to ask us about, whatever the case may be, we'll gladly respond. We love the engagement. Now, outside of these reviews, as we do Southern Charm, we do Drag Race, which is coming out real soon. This is season 17. And some other things coming down the pipeline. Where else can we find you?
Like I said, Instagram, psychic_ELB, if you'd like to get a psychic reading. And also on Alexander Rogers' channel, I make occasional guest appearances. I can't guarantee I'll be covering every episode of Traders with Alex, but so far we have covered episodes 1 through 4.
All right. I gotta watch Traders. This is episode, season 3 or 4, something like that.
Season 3, and I'm late
Okay.
to the table. This is my first season participating. I cannot recommend it enough to you.
It's good.
It's very good.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch. Okay.
You got to, and you'll love Bob on it. Bob the drag queen.
Bob is on there.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, Bob is
Bob. I love Bob. All right. So y'all, thanks again for tuning in. We appreciate you. Don't forget to come back for next week, episode 7. Again, I think episode 7 is going to be explosive.
Ready.
All right, y'all. Thanks again. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We'll catch you next time. Bye. All day.